If you have Bitcoin, you would have watched on in horror at one point today as the price tumbled, and the timing of the fall couldn't have been worse for those in El Salvador. Now, this is strange. Have a listen. In a world-first experiment, every citizen has been given a digital wallet, allowing them to legally make transactions with cryptocurrency.
Hi guys, welcome to today's video where we cover all the essential news that you need to know in cryptocurrency. And can I just say, it was a huge week for Bitcoin, it was a huge week for El Salvador, and it was a bit of a bumpy ride. El Salvador is officially the first country in the world to use Bitcoin as legal tender. Bitcoin's adoption in El Salvador is completely unprecedented. This means that it's an experiment and it's going to be closely monitored by global financial institutions, crypto advocates, and governments around the world to see how it works and what the consequences could be. So, El Salvador is one of the poorest countries in Central and Latin America. There are many harsh economic conditions. They have a lot of unresolved political issues. This has meant that a lot of El Salvadorian people have left to go overseas to pursue money or a better life. The people that have chosen to stay in El Salvador, their cost of living has increased every year because the Federal Reserve keeps on printing trillions of dollars. And basically, the El Salvadorian government and the people are kind of at the mercy of the US dollar, which is controlled by the US. So this pursuit of Bitcoin as legal tender is a way of like releasing that control that the US has over the money supply and that the dependability that El Salvador has on the US dollar. Okay, so in El Salvador, a long queue formed at a cash machine on the edge of the capital. Those in line were mostly after one thing: US dollars. Now, you got to keep in mind that these people don't have, or El Salvadorians didn't have, the traditional banking system or financial system that people in developing nations have had. And this has caused a huge disparity in understanding about how financial systems work, understanding monetary policy or fiscal policy. So to go from like not having any kind of grasp of that, and a lot of people not even having bank accounts in El Salvador, to then all of a sudden going to Bitcoin, it's a huge transition. And the El Salvadorian government says that they're going to spend money and energy on educating El Salvadorians on cryptocurrencies, which is amazing. But I think the transition is definitely going to be difficult for a lot of people. Now look, the transition is hard, but there are benefits and there are reasons why the El Salvadorian government is wanting to transition to Bitcoin wallets. For example, President Nayib Bukele estimates that money service providers like Western Union and MoneyGram will lose up to $400 million a year in commissions for remittance payments, thanks to the country's Bitcoin adoption. And, you know, just to put it into perspective, they say that 70% of the Salvadorian population is receiving remittance payments. So that's a lot of money that this population is spending on just like sending and receiving their own money. So Jamie Garcia is a El Salvadorian, and she makes a statement in this article saying that she really hates using Western Union. And I've actually used Western Union before when I've been traveling overseas, and I hated using it too. So she says, in this day and age, it is wild that I had to go to a physical Western Union office, give them my actual cash, and then hand them another $25 on top of that before they would send me my money over. And then, of course, it takes 3 days for it to actually arrive in El Salvador. And, you know, it's wild that people complain about how long it takes for a Bitcoin transaction to go through. I actually think they go through pretty quickly compared to like traditional banking. These outdated old methods of like sending and receiving money, they are so old and they are just so outdated. And we have the better technology. We have more efficient and more effective technology. And El Salvador is taking a step towards using it. Panama unveils bill to make Bitcoin legal tender. The proposal comes one day after El Salvador officially adopted the cryptocurrency. So what could definitely start happening is El Salvador could set a trend or a precedent, and then there could be a domino effect that occurs within other developing countries, especially those countries that are dependent on the US dollar. So the Panamanian Congressman Gabriel Silva introduced this bill designed to provide legal, regulatory, and fiscal certainty to the use of holding and issuance of digital value and crypto assets in the Republic of Panama. So This Silva he's an advocate of cryptocurrency. His view is that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin are the future of money and for the globe. The underlying blockchain technology allows the currencies to work by creating a digital ledger that records transactions instead of relying on a central bank to underwrite. And crypto fans would say manipulate the value of the currency. So the El Salvadorian government is not going to hold back when it comes to innovation. They're going to promote and educate the public about cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies. And they also plan on using the electricity generated from the existing volcano that they have to mine Bitcoin. And then they plan on also putting the profits that they make from mining Bitcoin back into schools, hospitals, and just overall general good resources for the community. So this whole Bitcoin adoption for El Salvador is not without its risk and concerns. The volatility is something really to keep in mind. And I think that monetary funds and central banks will absolutely love it if Bitcoin has a blow off top and El Salvadorians FOMO in and then lose a lot of their money, because then that will make Bitcoin look bad. So a lot of things could go wrong in this situation. The volatility of Bitcoin could really make El Salvadorians mad. It's got no stability, or at least it's not got the stability that the US dollar has. And on top of that, the international financial regulators have also voiced legal concerns apart from the economic risks of Bitcoin's volatility. The World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, which is considering a financial deal with El Salvador, has said making Bitcoin an official currency could leave a country open to money laundering and other illicit financial activity. And I think that is absolute bullshit. I think that is just so ridiculous, because so much money, I believe that so much more opportunity for money laundering happens with dollars, because there is no public ledger for cash. There's no public ledger for dollars. And I think that they could just, both of them are just as easily used for money laundering. Algorand price doubles in 2 days as Ethereum rivals ascend. Now, if you didn't see in the markets, Ethereum competitors did very well this week. Algorand has said that, or announced that El Salvador will utilize Algorand's proof of stake blockchain network for infrastructure and services. Very bullish for Algorand. El Salvador adopted leading cryptocurrency Bitcoin as legal tender this week, not without its technical hiccups, along with resistance from some Salvadorians. Additionally, coin banks will use Algorand for further blockchain-based infrastructure and services such as COVID-19 tracking systems, as well as financial services platforms. Algorand is another alternative to Ethereum and Solana, and it's one with a lower priced coin and a smaller market cap, potentially suggesting to investors that it has more room to grow. Investors who missed out on Solana's recent surge might hope for similar gains with Algorand. Last but not least, the SEC has told Coinbase that they want to sue Coinbase for their lend feature, and also that Coinbase doesn't understand why. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, has been very public about the behavior that the SEC is showing them, about the threats of being sued. And he says that some really sketchy behavior is coming out of the SEC. Story time. And it's here that he kind of dives into like what's actually happening with the SEC and why they don't understand why Coinbase is being targeted. So they say they responded by telling us this lend feature is a security. Okay, seems strange. How can lending be a security? So we asked the SEC to help us understand and share their view. We always make an effort to work proactively with regulators and keep them open-minded, but it doesn't seem like the SEC is being very collaborative. It doesn't seem that the SEC wants to help or educate or work with Coinbase to help them release this lend feature. Now, if you don't follow Brian Armstrong already, I highly recommend going to your Twitter and giving him a follow. He is CEO of Coinbase, the only publicly traded cryptocurrency exchange on the stock market, and they need our support. The whole entire space needs the support of the community if we want to get through all these regulations and lawsuits effectively. We don't want to be pushed down by the big guy. So that's the video for today. If you liked it, please let me know what you think in the comment section or leave a like or whatever. And I look forward to seeing you next time.